What's going on, everybody? It's Kooky McGee, aka Keagan here, back with another video once again, and it's time for another movie review video. So in the last movie review video, I promised that I was going to talk about all the films that I saw at the Northwest Fear Fest in the next video, and here we are. Today we're going to be talking about all the films and the two short films that I saw at the Northwest Fear Festival for this year. Now, I had a really good time at the Northwest Fear Fest. This was actually my third year attending, and I was there last year as well, and there was a video on that where I talked about the movies and short films that I saw at the festival last year. I only saw one movie at my first time going at the Northwest Fear Fest, and that was The Last Video Store, and that inspired me to go to all the future Northwest Fear Festival events. So this year, I saw a total of 8 films and 2 short films, which technically altogether is 10. So this is going to be a pretty long video, but I'll try to talk about each movie as quickly as possible. But other than that, it's going to be a pretty long video. So we're going to start with the short films first that I saw, because there's only 2 that I saw. And then we'll move on to the feature-length movies that I saw. So let's get right into it. So the first of the 2 short films that I saw was titled Hi, You Are Currently Being Recorded, which this one played before I saw the film ReAnimator, which we will talk about in a little bit. This is a short film that was like 7 or 8 minutes long, and basically you got this woman on vacation in Los Angeles who seems to be monitored everywhere she goes, and every time she gets close to a camera, there's a speaker that says, "Hi, you are currently being recorded." And it's a very simple short film. It was okay, I guess. I wasn't really a huge fan of this one. I mean, it had an interesting premise. They could have done a little better with the ending, and I think this could have gone on a little bit longer than 7 or 8 minutes, or maybe even work as a feature-length film, I'd say. But I don't really have much to say about this one. It wasn't great, but it was okay, I guess. But for what it's worth, I guess it was fine, but I probably won't ever watch this one again. But yeah, not much to say about this one. We'll just move on to the next one really quickly. So I'm giving Hi, You Are Currently Being Recorded a 5 out of 10. And the last short film that I saw was Which this one actually won Best Short Film at this festival. And this one screened before the movie ReAnimator, which we will talk about a little bit later. So this is a 5-minute short film about this woman. She's at home with her daughter, putting her to bed. And when she puts her in bed, she goes downstairs to find this mysterious old woman who, spoiler alert, is a witch, and who proceeds to start performing a satanic ritual in the house. Well, I don't really want to give away too much. It's only a 5-minute short film, but this one is really, really funny and the best short film. Well, even though I only saw 2 short films at the festival this year, between this and the other short film that I talked about, this one's probably the best out of the 2. I really, really liked it. It was hilarious, and it was well made. And for a 5-minute short film, it was really, really well made, and uses its 5-minute runtime really well. And I would highly recommend you check it out. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this one. I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10. A excellent short film. It's a great horror comedy short film, but yeah, check it out. Now we finally talk about the feature-length films that I saw at the Northwest Fear Fest. So there's about 8 in total. So let's get into the movies now. So the first feature-length film I saw at the festival was Dream Eater. This is a Canadian found footage film that was presented by Eli Roth under the horror section label. But this film was directed by Jay Draculic, Mallory Drum, and Alex Lee Williams. Now, I saw this one first, and back when I was talking about, hey, how you are currently being recorded, that was the short film that was screened before this movie. I didn't really have any high expectations for this movie. I kind of went into it blind, knowing that it's a found footage film. To be fair, I'm not really the biggest fan of found footage movies in general. I mean, I don't know, I'm just not really a huge fan of them, but there are a few that I like. For example, Cloverfield and Chronicle, which Chronicle's a good one. But in general, I'm just not a huge fan of found footage movies. I don't know, they're not really my case of beer. But this movie, it was okay. I mean, it had its moments, but it really wasn't all that great, but it was alright. Basically, you got a couple who stay up in this cabin, and the girlfriend is documenting his boyfriend's sleepwalking because he has a violent para-insomnia that's been getting worse. So they figured a getaway they figured trying to get out of town, go into a cabin, and try to document what's been going on, seeing if they can treat the sleepwalking, parasomnia, and interview their doctors during their stay. But as they stay, the sleepwalking gets worse, and it starts to become more and more sinister. And without giving away too much, that's basically what the story's about in a nutshell. This movie, it was alright. It had its moments. I didn't really find it all that scary. There were a lot of jump scares. And there were some parts that were funny, and there were a lot of parts that were unintentionally funny. I mean, this was a decent one to sit through, but I doubt that I'll ever sit through it again. But I do find it interesting how Eli Roth got the rights to this movie and released it under his under the horror section label that he started earlier this year. So basically, I heard this on a podcast with the three directors of this movie. So there were a lot of horror movie influencers promoting this movie left and right on like Instagram, Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Well, all over social media. But then one day they got a hidden message on DMs on Instagram, and it was from Eli Roth himself, and he was asking if he could get a screener for this movie so he could check it out. And then they gave him the screener, and not even 24 hours later, he reached back to them saying he wanted to buy the movie, so he bought the rights to this movie, and then he released it under the horror section label, which is, I find that actually really cool, in all honesty. It's pretty cool how they managed to get the attention from Eli Roth, which is pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I didn't really think this movie was all that great. I mean, it had its moments, but it was alright, I guess. Anyways, I don't have anything else to add, so I'm giving ReAnimator a 5 out of 10. So the next film I saw was ReAnimator. This is a 1985 body horror comedy directed by the late Stuart Gordon and loosely based on an H.P. Lovecraft story. I saw this one with a friend who saw the movie before. I never actually seen this movie before. This was my first time watching it, and this was the 40th anniversary edition screening. It was a 4K restoration, which looked really good. I really liked this one. I thought this one was hilarious. Had some great special effects, and yeah, I had a lot of fun seeing this one with a big crowd. Basically, in this movie, you got this guy who takes in a medical student from somewhere in Europe who's basically experimenting with dead bodies, trying to bring them back to life with this green substance. No, not the one from The Substance. I'm talking about the green substance from ReAnimator. And they've experimented it on dead animals, and they start doing it on dead dead human beings, but then it all starts going wrong when the deceased are injected with this serum. They become violent like zombies, and they start causing a lot of trouble for everybody. So without giving away too much, that's basically what the story of this film is about in a nutshell. I really, really like this one. This one was hilarious. It's got some excellent special effects, and I had a lot of fun watching this one with a big crowd. And I know there's actually 2 sequels to this movie titled Bride of ReAnimator and Beyond ReAnimator. I'll probably check those out one day, although I hear that Beyond ReAnimator was a made-for-TV movie, I believe. But I'll probably check out the sequels, but I highly doubt they'll be better than the first movie. But I really, really like this one. I haven't seen any of Stuart Gordon's other movies, but I've heard of some of his other movies like Castle Freak and whatnot. I'll probably check out some of his other movies in the future. But other than that, really fun movie. I really, really enjoyed this one. So I'm giving ReAnimator an 8.5 out of 10. On that same night, I saw the 40th anniversary screening of Return of the Living Dead, directed by Dan O'Bannon. I'm actually not going to talk about this one for very long, because I actually already talked about this movie before, back in Season 5. But I'll briefly talk about this one again before we move on to the next movie. It's a really fun horror comedy, and in my opinion, one of the best horror comedies of all time. And this is definitely one of the best movies you can watch with a crowd of people. It's so much fun. It's hilarious. It's got a great soundtrack, and it's got some great special effects and makeup effects, and just all around an amazing movie. It's one of the best horror comedies ever made, period. And I know there's actually multiple sequels to this movie. I'll probably check out the second and third movie. I'm not going to bother with Necropolis and Rave to the Grave, because I heard those 2 are terrible. So I'll probably just avoid those 2. And I hear there's going to be, I think it's like a remake or something with Devon Sawa. I don't know, because looking at the director's track record, he's made some pretty bad movies, so I'm not really looking forward to the new Return of the Living Dead movie that's coming out. But I might give it a chance, but who knows. But anyways, I don't have anything else to add. So, since in my original review of this movie, I gave it an 8 out of 10, but I've decided to bump it up and give it an 8.5 out of 10. Just an amazing film. Although I have a feeling I'll probably bump it up to a 9. I don't know. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10. The next film I saw at the festival was Our Hero Balthazar, which was directed by Oscar Boyson. This is a dramedy that involves a wealthy rich kid in New York, I think it is. And he's like one of those narcissists you see on social media that basically pretend to cry on camera for a tragedy and stuff. And in this case, he's crying about mass shootings and stuff, because this is a film that revolves around gun culture, mass shootings, and incel cultures and shit. So then one day, he gets a message from someone who is apparently planning to pull off a school shooting. And so he makes another account on Instagram pretending to be somebody else, like a hot girl. You know, like on Instagram, you see a lot of those porn bot accounts. He basically imitates one of those to get his attention, like tries to befriend the supposed future shooter, and then they've agreed to meet up in Texas so our protagonist can try to stop the supposed shooter from carrying out his attack. And I don't really want to give away too many spoilers, but that's basically what the film is about in a nutshell. I thought this one was pretty good. It was pretty funny. It's definitely gets a little intense near the end, but I liked it. It's not a perfect film by any means. It definitely has its flaws. Like the main characters are kind of unlikable, including the main character. Like, I mean, it's obvious our main character is just a narcissistic douchebag who just wants to do this for attention and stuff. I think it does do a pretty good job at its message and stuff, but I feel like it kind of loses its way about halfway through, I guess. But it wasn't a bad movie. I thought it was pretty good. I'm surprised this movie has Asa Butterfield, or however you say his name. You might know him from the movie The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. He was in that movie when he was younger. He's in this movie. He plays as the guy who's supposedly planning to pull off a mass shooting. I'm surprised he was in this movie. But it's a pretty good movie. If you like dark comedies, it's pretty funny. And yeah, I would check it out. I'm not sure if I would be in a big rush of checking this one out again, but I liked it for what it was. So I'm giving our hero Balthazar a 7 out of 10. Next, I saw Mr. Melvin, which this is the recut version of Toxic Avenger 2 and Toxic Avenger 3 recut into one movie. I actually watched all the Toxic Avenger movies except for the remake. I watched them all for the first time about a month ago, and I really liked them. Really fun movies. I'll probably talk about them in a future video one of these days. So this is the new cut of 2 and 3. It's been recut and edited into what was the original shooting script for the second movie, because back before the second movie came out, which the second and third movie both came out in 1989, Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hers shot up to 4 hours of footage, but they didn't want to. I don't really exactly remember the reason why it was like this. So he combined two of the footage he made, like the 4 hours of footage, and made it into two separate movies. But this new cut is basically a cut, like edits 2 and 3 into one film based on the original shooting script draft for the second movie, which was really unique and really cool. And this is probably one of the longest Troma movies out there. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes, which is one of the longest films from Troma, because most Troma movies are usually between at least 90 minutes, at least longer than 90 or lower than 90 minutes long. So this is one of the longer Troma movies out there. But I really, really enjoyed this one. And it's fun to watch. Well, I mean, all the Toxic Avenger movies are fun to watch, but I really, really like this new cut of 2 and 3. And I actually personally like this cut better than the individual movies for Toxic Avenger 2 and 3, but that's just me, of course. And seeing this movie with a big crowd was awesome. And there was actually a Q&A session with the editor, Adam. I forgot his last name, but I actually managed to talk to him a little bit when I was at the film festival. He's a really cool guy. But yeah, I really, really like this. I would personally prefer this cut over the individual releases of Toxic Avenger 2 and 3. But if you're a Troma fan and you like the Toxic Avenger, definitely check this movie out. It was awesome, and I think it was really well edited and put together, and just, yeah, I really liked it. So I'm giving Mr. Melvin an 8.5 out of 10. Next is Sirāt, which is a film from director Oliver Lexe, and this is a film from Spain. This film actually won the Special Grand Jury Prize at Cannes this year. This one was pretty good. It actually reminds me a lot of the movie Sorcerer from William Friedkin. That's a great movie that I recommend. It's very similar to, this movie is very similar to that movie, just a little bit. Basically, you got a father and son who are out to look for the man's daughter, who's been reported missing for the last 5 months. She was at a rave but never came back, and so they travel to somewhere in Africa and meet up with these other group of ravers who've agreed to help the man find his daughter. But there's some tension going on in the country, and it's been declared not safe. But they've agreed to help the man find his daughter no matter what. I really enjoyed this one. This one was really intense. It's got some really good music, especially some of the techno music that's used in the film at the rave scenes. This is definitely an intense film. It's a real nail biter, so to speak, and I really liked it. I think this would make an interesting double feature with Sorcerer, which I already talked about. But yeah, that's a great film. I'll definitely do a review of that movie one day. But my only issue with this movie is that how it abruptly ends. It just didn't feel like the movie was over yet. But it kind of ends off in a way that it could mean that there could be a possible sequel by the way it ends. I don't want to spoil it, but when you watch this movie, you'll understand what I mean. But it's a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it, and I will definitely check it out again whenever it comes out to physical. But if you like Sorcerer, then you'll probably like this one. Anyways, I'm giving Sirāt a 7.5 out of 10. Now, the last two films I saw at the festival are both from the same director. They are Bodycam and Night of the Reaper, both of which are directed by Brandon Christensen, who also co-wrote the screenplay alongside his brother Ryan. So we'll talk about Bodycam first. This is a Shudder original film alongside Night of the Reaper. Both of these are Shudder movies. This is another found footage movie, and I thought it was pretty good. It basically follows these two cops who are called in to a 911, a supposed domestic violence altercation, and then the whole situation goes bad, and they're trying to cover up their tracks after the altercation goes wrong, and as the film progresses, it gets progressively stranger and stranger with the plot, especially near the end. I don't really want to spoil too much, but that's basically what the story of the film is about in a nutshell. But I thought this one was pretty good. I actually like this one better than Dream Eater, which was the found footage film I talked about earlier in the video. It's got some good performances. I like the way how it was shot. I think the film was primarily filmed using GoPros and some real body cams, like around the beginning of the film, which was really cool. This is probably one of the better found footage films I've seen. It's campy, but I really enjoyed this one for what it was. I thought it was pretty good. If you like found footage movies and you want to try to watch something that's slightly different, well, in the perspective of cops, then I would recommend this one. I thought it was pretty good. This was actually filmed in Calgary, which is pretty cool, and actually both this movie and Night of the Reaper were both filmed in Calgary. I can't remember if they were filmed back to back or not. I think they were. I am not sure though. I could be wrong about that. But other than that, I thought Bodycam was pretty good, and I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Now, on to the last film that I saw at the festival, and that is Night of the Reaper. Again, directed by Brandon Christensen, who also directed Bodycam. This one was actually screened right after, because I saw this movie, Bodycam, and Sirāt back to back, which, yes, I had a triple feature at the festival, which, technically, this was actually the very first triple feature I ever had at the movies. It was really cool. This is a babysitter slasher type movie, kind of like Halloween and When a Stranger Calls. I never did see When a Stranger Calls, but that movie was actually one of the influences for this movie, according to the director in the Q&A session that occurred after this movie. This movie takes place in the 80s, and you got this this girl who's trying to survive babysitting the son of the small town's police chief, and then she's getting stalked by a serial killer known as the Reaper, who is responsible for the murder of several babysitters. And I don't really want to give away too much. It's your typical slasher movie, so you can probably guess where it goes from here. But I really like this one. This one was also pretty good too. I actually like this one better than Bodycam. Between this movie and Bodycam, I really liked it. You can definitely tell the inspirations from this movie, because this movie doesn't rely heavily on the gore and violence. Most of the kills are off screen, but a few of them are on screen. But most of them don't occur until like later in the film, kind of like the original Halloween from John Carpenter. How that movie didn't rely on gore for the scares. It just relies on tension. And yeah, I really liked it. It was well made, and I really liked the set designs for the film. It looked really good. And the performances in this movie were also really good too. It's funny, it's creepy, and yeah, I really like this one. And I would highly recommend it if you like slasher movies. This is I think it's actually currently streaming on Shudder in the US. I was told it's not streaming in Canada yet. Well, at least at the time of me making this video. But other than that, if you like slasher movies, definitely check this one out. I thought it was pretty good, and I definitely do plan on checking it out again in the future. So, I'm giving Night of the Reaper a 7.5 out of 10. Well, there you guys have it. That's going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. And yeah, and I also would like to give a special thanks to the Northwest Fear Fest and all the people of the Metro Cinema, which was where it was held. I had an amazing time at the festival, and I'm really looking forward to next year. But yeah, thanks again for watching. Hope you all have a great day, and until next time, this is Keagan Shepard signing off. Take it easy, guys. Peace. Bye bye.